You're still playing Tarkov.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
I tried to play it the other day. I did. I can play it offline without problems, but I play it online and it's just I got kicked off the servers 5 times trying to play
What map are you trying to play?
streets.
hmm
Yeah.
I'm playing with a guy right now. He still can't play. I don't know. After the update, he can't play streets. So
Just weird because it runs beautifully now. When I first got my new computer and went on and played on it, I'm like, wow, this runs great. I'm running it online, no issues, and now yeah, it was just I didn't really try other maps, but that's because for me, Streets is still one of the few maps left with any kind of allure, I guess.
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
some
Streets is
mystery.
great, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, that's why I've been waiting. I didn't want to play it a lot this way because I wanted to. I don't know if there's a better way to put it, but it's discover it when I'm actually feeling and vibing Tarkov because
Yeah.
you can't get those discovery stages ever again.
No, once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, and I went to reserve way too late in my Tarkov career to I just hate that map now.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Reserve Rally. I'm starting to like it a little bit more. I've been playing it a bunch today, but it's okay. It's okay. It's
The
just not the best map.
Yeah, it's so it has the same issue I think Labs does, which is excuse me, it's tryhards. Like it you know sort of half the people are tryhard. There's people who only play reserve because they look at it
Yeah,
as it's a map I can do CQ, I can do sniping. There's 45
yeah.
minutes worth of content. I'm like, well, I mean, I get it. We're those people on woods, so or were I should say. So,
Did you get a chance to see the Tarkov TV or no?
I have watched a couple recaps and I watched a little bit of it on your stream.
Nice. I
Um,
enjoyed it. I thought it was nice. The new scenery in the background is really cool.
I really like that. I really like the fact they are talking. Oh God, I'm blanking on that on the roadmap. Um, I don't think it's going to be until December. I'm glad they are trying to push Streets expansions one after the other
Yeah,
because it.
we're getting one at Wipe and then one in December.
Yeah, I'm very nervous that they didn't really mention anything about Unity, but I know they've talked about it in other areas.
Oh,
That
they did. They say it's coming in
did
the
they?
middle of the Wipe. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's what I guess. Hold on, let me rephrase. So they talked about it, but not really,
Like what it's gonna do.
because it's been over a year since it was we're going to the new Unity, and then we didn't, and then Arena is coming out fall of 2022. So I'm kind of when they're we're hoping to have Arena in fall. I'm just my heart's it's very jaded. It's frozen. It's waiting. I want Arena. I want it, but I also want it to be good. And I've realized that there's a lot of other games to play while I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
not
There's
vibing
some games to
Turkey.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Good to take a break. I took like a month off of gaming, and I came back, and I'm just freshened up.
That's
You
what
know.
well, that's what's been nice. My work's been kicking my ass lately, so it's actually keeping me busy. And I yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Because for the first time in a while, I have a reason to not be thinking about YouTube and gaming videos and content.
hmm
Because even if you try to take a break, you would take a month off, that takes a while, and it gives you you're able to fall.
Perspective.
Yeah, it gives you that perspective. I'm getting ready to do that. I want to make one more video before I kind of stop making long form videos, and then I don't think that I'm ever gonna stop making shorts. It's very relaxing for me, even if they get no views, and I enjoy
That's cool.
making them. Yeah, and I've deterred.
That's all that matters. I mean, dude, you got a fucking full-time job. You got a
Oh
family.
yeah.
Like it. If it makes you happy, do it.
Mhm. Well, I've been doing 2-a-days for about a month
Yeah.
videos, so I'm getting a little, and I've been
Burnt
doing.
out on that.
I think on my shorts channel, there's been 2 days this year where I didn't release content on it, but there's also been days where I put 3-4 videos out, so
hmm
it
Yeah.
definitely makes up for it. Um, but I, the I sent it in the group chat we have. I'm already recording, by the way, for the podcast. Just heads up
That's
for us
fine.
to naturally.
I figured you were.
Yeah, that way we just kind of naturally flow into it. I've been bad about getting back and forth with Demo, but he's also been kind of bad about getting back and forth with me about linking up, and that's where I was like, you know what, let's just do us, because then it's
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Catch up, have a little talky talk.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Which I'm glad we kind of took 2 months off from the podcast too, because it gave me a lot of time to think about the content of it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and it's interesting because it's crazy how quickly the time just went away.
Holy crap! Ray, I woke up the other day and I was like, I went to my mom and I'm like, it's July, and she's like, yes, yeah, it's July. What are you talking? I'm like, it's July.
Like I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I logged back into the YouTube studio. I was like, damn, time flies, bro. What the fuck?
Right.
Just one of those things. But yeah, like I said, I thought it gave me pretty good perspectives because I was listening to some Mr. Beast stuff. And he was like, it's a lot. He said something that was pretty interesting. It's way easier to get, I think he said 10 million views on one video than it is to get 100,000 views on 100 videos. And that kind of been sticking in my mind, rumbling for a month. And I started looking at the content. I started looking at things that I was doing. And I'm like, where is the value that I provide truly, right? And so I've been thinking about that, where's the true value? And I'm going to pay for an editor.
That has been something
to try to help me find that.
That's been something that's been heavy in the back of my head for a while. But yeah, keep going down train of thought, because that's almost spot on to where I've been going for the last 2 months.
Yeah, because I've heard other people say it. I remember Gary. You heard, Gary V.
Yeah.
He always says make a lot of content. Like he over exaggerates his bullshit, but he's always like post like 50 videos a day. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And he met with a young girl. She's like, I've been posting every single day for like 2 years, and all my videos get like 100 views. He's like, do I just keep going? He goes, uniquely enough, since you did that for 2 years, you need to not do that anymore because now you know it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of realization. It's like we know how to get 1 million views, but 1 million views over a year is not enough. Truly, from a business perspective, it's not enough. From like a hobby, sure, but from the grand scheme of things, like how do you make that better? What value do you provide in the long term, and how do you help the day-to-day people who are coming by looking for something, and what are those people looking for, and how do you deliver it to them in a fashion that they're going to be able to watch in a 10-15 minute segment or shorter on their lunch break before bed, something of that nature. And those kind of things I've been thinking about. And
yeah,
I don't know if you've seen Landmark's new content, but god damn, I don't know who he hired to be his editor, but that shit is so good now, bro. It's crazy.
I watched one of his videos and it looked a little like off, and I was like, oh my god, that's where that's
intro's like the AI art, and then the fucking everything's like AI art generated for his stuff now, and it's just the video accentuates his personality really, really well without being cheesy. And like that editor is quite nice.
That is that's the conclusion I came to with streaming, and I think we might have talked about this, or maybe I might have did it in the group chat thing, but when I was streaming a lot and I was like streaming 8 hours a day and I was trying to edit those streams, I realized I'm like, I can't edit my own streams. Like I can make videos. I can sit down and pursue the idea of editing videos, but I can't pursue editing a long form version of myself. It's very like I can make a long form video. I've gotten better at that, but it's nowhere near, my skills are they're about 9 years behind where I want them to be as an editor. But the only way to get there is to make them, and that's where it's funny. And this is one of the reasons I love talking to you, because you come at everything from the content perspective, from more of a like editing isn't your passion, right? Whereas what got me into YouTube and what eventually kind of like started to get me traction was just my love for editing, not my love for making content. And like I've been trying to go back to those roots, and it's
unique because it's not even a content perspective. I realize that like I may not be as creative as the person as I've always thought myself to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been like looking at myself and like the way that I visualize information and realizing that I don't have a visual memory. So it makes like thinking about things very differently when I ask other people, like if I ask you to close your eyes and picture an apple, what do you see?
Oh, I see an apple. I see thousands of apples.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, you have my buddy has there's
It's called like aphasia or something
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
trying to remember the name of the disease. I call it a
Um,
disease. It's not really a disease. It's just a
no, it's
genetic.
just a different way of thinking, you
Yeah.
know. And it's I I don't see an apple. I know that an apple could be red. I know what an apple would look like, and it's more like an intuitive knowledge of being like I have seen one before, so thus I know what it is. And so I think about like that. And I'm like that influences the way that I create things. And at the end of the day, my entire mind works in like a log format. This is done. 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 And I'm a business mind. Like I'm not. Oh, I'm a fucking guru. No, I don't know much about business in that manner. But it's I think about stuff in lists. You know what I mean? And when you said it's a content thing, it's not even like a creative standpoint. It's just
Like I guess
checklist in my mind. Like I know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, you know, and how to post it. The creative part is the variable that I struggle with, I think.
yeah, that's see on the flip side is that I guess when I said content, I guess I mean the ubiquitous term of like
The
the
management of the content.
no, I just mean in general, like the idea of well, I guess for you specifically, I meant like you it's a good way to describe this better, more in depth. Like you looked at it as, or I looked at you anyways more as somebody who was trying to go down the I don't want to use I'm going to use the word traditional route, the traditional route of most gamer streamers, which is you're focusing on yourself and your skills. And I think
Yeah,
if
be
I
good at
remember,
the game
be good at
kind
the
of thing.
game. Yeah. And
The competitive kind of thing.
right. Which is, I think is really good if you're really good at making guides or having an editor that's really good at making guides. Cause
Yeah.
those
Yep.
are, that's how you get people onto your skill. Like, well, I want to be able to snipe like that. But if you don't show people cool sniping videos, it's hard to
To have them believe that you can snipe it at all.
Yep. So, because
Yeah.
that's where I ran into with me with Tarkov is like I couldn't like my PvP skills aren't enough to teach the game, stream, play, and like create Like I couldn't figure that algorithm out. Like I could teach one on one when I'm just like it's just me and a butt. Like we're doing it naturally. It's gonna take 2 to 3 months to learn Tarkov. Who knows? But
Right.
when you're thinking about it from a content, you're like, okay, I recorded episode 1 Monday. I want to record episode 2 Tuesday, but I can't do that because that guy's not around. He's not really here for content. He's just here to learn Tarkov. And so it became I had trouble trying to figure out, like I spent a long time trying to find a streaming partner that was like a Timmy because I wanted to like coach. I wanted to like coach him, kind of like what Pestley did with his neighbor Michael, which I think was fantastic. I loved the fact.
Yeah.
I didn't watch all of it. I skimmed it because it's just funny, but I I absolutely loved that he showcased what a non-gamer approaching Tarkov is like, because
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things, kind of going back to what you were bringing up the whole conversation with, which is perspective, right? Because it allows you to see this game through the eyes of somebody who has no idea. Like it, you know, excuse me. I've played with I played Tarkov with my sister once, and she's played video games, but she doesn't really play shooters. I think we've talked about this, but I look at that experience and I look at how the editor did some of those things, and it's so hard. Did you have a point in YouTube where you were trying, and the more I guess you're kind of at this point, or maybe not. I don't want to speak to you, but where you're trying, and I know with me where I got to a point where I'm like, the more you try, the less your content becomes. And with these editors, like I look at them and I go, I could never edit the videos they do because I would want to put so many cuts in to make it more interesting, but then interesting becomes a weird word there, because what is interesting? Like I look at
Perspective. Yeah, it's like subjective.
right, because I watched 2001: A Space Odyssey. That film is nothing but dead patience. Like there is nothing on the screen. It's space. That's half the shots are just stillness. And I know that's something I could never edit because I want, and it's the same thing with yeah, let me get my words. I look at editing now in the perspective of baking a cake. And I've kind of always looked at it like this, but I've really started to understand it more. Because I learned to cook before I learned to make videos, really. And when you're cooking, I think we've talked about food occasionally. You cook sometimes, steaks and stuff or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I cook everything. I don't
You
eat
cook.
out.
Okay. Yeah, same. I hate every time I go to a restaurant, I regret it because I'm like, I could cook better at home. And
Yeah.
it's like for $40, I could make a better meal at home, and I usually do.
I can make more meals for
Yeah,
40 bucks.
yeah, for $40, I can make 2-3 meals, that maybe a week, of like good, anyways. Uh, so if you want to like, so with me, I bake a cake, and then it's decorating the cake. But the problem is if somebody bakes a cake and then they do way too much weird shit to it, because it's like, all right, I have, you start putting sprinkles on. And you're like, all right, we got sprinkles. All right, let's put M&Ms on. It's like, oh, okay, let's put Skittles on too. And you're like, wait a minute, what are we doing? Let's maybe put some like rainbow, fruit roll-ups in here too. And the kids will love it. And like people who are really drunk or really high will really love it. And then everybody else will look at it and go, that's diabetes. And this
Right.
is like it could be interesting, and occasionally you want that piece of that like really ridiculous cake. Or if you ever been to like a county fair in the US, or you're from the South, so I don't know if you're in a state where it's parishes instead of counties, but um we have the American pastimes of like really stupid foods, deep fried donuts, burgers. So it's a cheeseburger in between two deep fried donuts, and then they deep fry the whole thing, and it's got it once just to see it, couldn't even finish it. It disgusting. And I equate a lot of my videos to that I did them because I could, not because I should, which is, I think, a different way of saying what you're saying, which is trying to create value out of content. And the value
All it is.
yeah, and the value for my content has been the learning experience for the most part up until this point. And
Well, that's your value, right?
that's my right,
That's the
not
value you've gotten out of it.
yes.
So what kind of value do you think you could provide to people? Because you said you made that cake and a couple people liked it. And that's kind of like a metaphor for your content, right? You make stuff and you get a couple people who enjoy it. Are you the kind of person that's like, I'll just keep doing this because I assume more people will like it if more people see it? Or is that kind of like where you're stuck? You kind of keep doing that because you like to do it and because it provides value to a little bit, or what?
I look at it as I really enjoy the entertaining memes, and I think the greatest way to provide value first before we get into it is really letting people understand the value of what they're listening to. And they are listening, and we should welcome them to the FtBFtL, Fear to Burn and Friends to Learn podcast, a talk show where gamers discuss the tactical genre, including gaming philosophy, concepts, systems, bugs, cheats, content creation, and more. We're your hosts, FearJBaller and Rectorol. We hope you'll join us on our journeys to understand better and improve while preserving our favorite genre. The value that I see in giving to people is twofold. One, I do consider myself somewhat decent at video games. However, PvP, like it's my shtick in certain games. Tarkov just happened to blow me up, but my PvP shtick was always more like Battlefield, which is why now that BattleBit's out, I'm starting to explore that with content. So I've looked at my value right now in one way that I add, and the most videos I go for are purely entertaining and distraction. So I really want the person to be distracted from whatever problem they have in their life by looking at the stupid dancing monkey. However, that's on the journey to me figuring out one of two. I want to go one of two ways with my channel, and I might actually make a third channel to solve this problem, but I really heavily am deeply invested in the Arma series.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Right. And I've been working on a video. I'm going to be working on a video for about, like, because I'm filming it with people. It takes a while just to record and film, which is awesome because then I can, like, take time to edit it. But I'm looking at recording for a single video for potentially about the next year. I've already got 5 days of recording done. Recording about once a week. So that video is for me, that video is a bit different. And that's where I look at my true value in the future, which is showing people, and this might sound pretentious, but a better way to game. But that's because with Arma,
That sounds pretentious for sure.
very pretentious. But with Arma, it's a sandbox
What does that mean?
game. So, do you ever play early?
What does better way to game mean?
A better way to game. Okay, I see what you mean. I see what you're asking. I thought you were asking on the other part of that. A better way to game. One of the problems, I've played with a lot of people throughout the years, and this is more of an observation. People will go one of two ways while gaming, or sorry, like one of three ways while gaming. One, people are just there for the games, which is cool and fun. And if the person is actually, you know, like a positive person, and they're just focused on the game, not even a positive person, it's just not a negative person, and they mainly just care about the game. Most gamers can get along. That's 90% of gamers, I feel. Where it's people just, hey, I just want to play a video game and not care about anything else. And while we're in the game, nothing else really matters. Yeah, besides when you get into like chat fights with people, but that's a whole. I'm not getting into political stuff. The second way I look into gamers, and I'm getting to why this is a better way to game, at least in my opinion. The second group of gamers are more your rowdy group. So the people who are dropping your N-bombs, your negative Nancy's, we're going to group them all into one. The people who are very, you bring them in a channel, they're either toxic, they're negative, they're driving people away, or they're starting fights, drama people, effectively. But not, like, because there's fun fights and there's bad fights. There's like, hey, who's your favorite Power Ranger? And then there's, hey, who'd you vote for the president? There's fun fights and there's bad fights. And for me, it's about showing the third group, which is, in my opinion, the people who are kind of lost. And they're trying to build something, and they're trying to build either gaming groups or a gaming friend group, and they don't understand some of those conversations that need to take place or the trajectory of that happening. And specifically in like when we're talking about a better way to game, it's more about everything around gaming. So it's not about, hey, how to have a better mouse, a better chair, you know, like here's the tactics and guides to win the game. It's just not being around pieces of shit. And when you are around them, how to navigate that to hopefully getting things back on track.
Sounds like you're saying it's interpersonal communication skills, not really anything to do with gaming. There, you might be sitting in a gaming lobby, but I feel that's what you're actually talking about.
Yeah, I guess I never phrased it as communication skills, but that might be a good way to put it.
It's interpersonal communication. I think that's exactly what you just expressed. Especially like when because I don't know, people could be lost in terms of, I don't think as many people are trying to create things as much maybe as
I guess I wouldn't say create. I should say maybe more like find. Like
find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're always trying to put together a Counter-Strike team or like a, you know, something like that, or like a fantasy football team or something.
I mean, not everybody, but I could see what you're saying though.
Mm-hmm.
I could be like, there could be people who could be looking for, like, they want to get into Arma. Arma is, they have no idea where to start. And maybe your value is helping those people navigate the waters to find the spots where they belong.
pretty much. So that's where I've gotten to at this point. But for me, that's actioning it.
I can see that though.
Yeah,
I truly can. I
uh,
truly can.
which is awesome. But yeah, for me, that's a long ways off though, and that's why it's all in
I don't see
editing.
that. I don't see that to be a long way off. I feel like your mind is there.
The
I feel like
the
if you tried to make that stuff tomorrow and provide guides and maybe interview other people and start that kind of like that banter and that talk, it could happen sooner than you think.
so
I
that's
feel like
one.
you've always been there.
I've always been there because I've ran two. I shouldn't say
Yeah,
ran. I've helped run two very large communities, and it's something I've done, but it's never something I've done on my own. So I've decided to like kind of take time to where we're going on with core, right? Like it's a slow roll. We're not trying to rush things. It might not even be called core in a year. Um, it's about just starting to get people together that want to have those conversations. Um, and then go from there. So I'm curious. So kind of to switch it back to you from here. So you're kind of are you when you're looking at value, where do you see your value starting to come in, or are you at
that's
an
hard, right?
impasse?
I truly don't know. When I look at what value I have provided, um, I look at just analytics and kind of what's worked and what hasn't. And if I just have to look at what videos have done the best, and it was my quick, short formatted, 1920 by 1080p exported video of just bullshit that you didn't know. Those videos have done so well. Even though like I made a couple other videos of cyberpunk, this, that, and the other thing, and people are like, oh, that's cool. But saying that's cool and looking at what works are completely two different things, right?
Right, because there's your this was something that took a while for me to get over, and you probably are past it too. But like I love people that comment on YouTube videos, and I've said this to some people and they've taken it the wrong way. But the people who comment on your YouTube videos are not necessarily your viewer base or your potential viewer base. Their opinions and are like it's to be respected, right? I don't look at their opinions as negative, but it's a single person's opinion. And that was something that took me a minute to get over because I've always been big on like personal conversations and taking a person at face value. And I've always been able to dissect that differently when you're on a different like if you're on Reddit or Twitter or some crap. Like I never equated the two, but for some reason when it came to my content, when I was making videos and pouring my love into them, there was a hot minute where I got lost in the sauce with the comments, and I've gotten back to a point where it. Do you struggle with that at all? Out of curiosity, were people's comments?
Get to
Um,
me?
yeah, or did you?
Absolutely not.
No, okay.
No, no. It's anything I tend to egg people on, um, for like algorithmic purposes, but not really. I mean, I'm a human. I can say that stuff can bother me, but it's not gonna affect what I do. Um,
There was just like one day
it
the day it was really bad. Is I logged in my YouTube and it was the first day when my videos blew up, and I was like beyond. Like I had comments before, but I never really engaged with them that much because I wasn't really trying to make content. I was just, hey, this is where I load my videos. It's just where I save them. Um, I I logged on YouTube and there was just hundreds of comments, and I was like, I feel bad for larger creators because I have trouble if I get like I've had videos do well and like if they do well quickly or they do well in a short span, right? It's not like long term. You get a lot of comments in at the same time, and I can only imagine people who are getting consistently large videos how difficult it must be to kind of figure out like how much do I reply to, how do I not. That's why I'm very grateful I had like a long time of being. I guess this is my question to you. Do you ever feel like you working at YouTube as a smaller subscriber will have you make better content in the future than somebody who blows up too quickly?
Repeat that for me.
So, do you ever think that you being stuck at being a smaller YouTuber for a while helps you
Okay.
make your content long term better? than somebody who blows up quickly? Or do you think that's an irrelevant aspect?
I don't know if it's irrelevant, but probably, I don't know. If I break it down, it could be you have more time to learn. If you blow up quickly, it means that what you did right really, really, really worked. The problem with that is that a couple things happen if it works too quickly. One, you get stuck on that and you don't know how to pivot, and so you just end up falling off. Secondly, if you are stubborn, too young, impressionable, you will then start doing things almost close to almost anythings that
Telling
facilitate those views.
So like telling Penguin that you should come at him with your clips instead of your magazines. It's type situation.
Sneeko, 100% Sneeko, yes. 8,000% Sneeko, 100%.
He's somebody that like he obviously like because I know him because his content is big enough that you're gonna see it if you're.
And now he's supporting like a neo-Nazi. Like there are.
It's weird.
Things.
It's so weird with him because I'm like I watch him. I'm like, man, you were kind of on a cool.
My brother said it. So my brother brought up the best analogy. He is the kid the new kid who comes to a school in high school. The only people who like him are the nerds, and then he gets cool and starts beating the nerds up.
Right.
That's who Sneeko is.
Yep. Yeah.
Full stop. So those are the type of the things that can happen. But again, if you're small, you might have more time to learn. You may not learn fast enough. And then there's a lot of issues psychologically that come up with that. You give up, it's taking too long, it's been years, and there's pros and cons to both sides for sure.
But then you're getting to your point, which is you've reached a point where if you've been doing it for years and it's not working, now you're at a point of, okay, I just got to do reevaluation. It's not, you have a bunch of skills that you've learned. And I think this is for something sure. Throughout my life that I've watched. I'm still struggling in life. I don't have my act together. I mean, I do. I work a decent job, but there's things in my life that are just not. Yeah, everybody's got those issues. Anyways, yeah. I'm not trying to come off like I'm holier than that with this statement.
No.
I kind of lost exactly what I was going to say because I prefaced that. I'm going to stop doing that as much, prefacing stuff. But I can make another point here, which is I'm curious when you came up with your brand. Is that something that you decided on a long time ago? Or has this been something you've been fiddling and toying with?
Like my name in particular, or?
Well, name, logo, kind of like the idea of being. Oh, you kind of just act like you on and off stream, so it's kind of you don't really put on a persona. You do a bit with streaming because everybody does, but not. Well, just because you're trying to be engaging, not in a shitty way.
Yeah, no, I completely get what you're saying. Yeah, you have to. Somebody brought this up, and I was watching a video of Cypher PK talking about that aspect of hype, that persona you bring on. Like you have to be super engaging, and I noticed that Tiggs does it a lot with his. He says surely, he says yo, he does all these things that are like, oh, like he found a bunch of BP. Like it's not that big of a fucking deal. You have hundreds of thousands of BP rounds, but he gets super excited because he knows, and it's funny, and I laugh at it. I'm like, that is funny that he's doing that, but it's not real. And I understand those mechanics.
And it's hard to do that in the moment if you've played a game for 3,000 hours. And
I see it, and like if it was a picture of my face, it'd be just like the most bored out face ever. Like, oh great, more BP. So that's a problem I have because I do get bored even stuff that I'm doing. But the brand question, FearJBaller came a thing. I was 17 playing Call of Duty 4, just playing competitively. We were playing game battles. We were like the 9th best team. We played against Envy, all those big squads. Envy's now Optic. Go figure. I played against Nate Shot, all that good stuff. And there was a guy named FearJohnnyB, and I just watched his gameplay a lot. And my name wasn't that back then, but when I came back, a lot of friends just used to call me John Baller because I used to play a lot of basketball, and like in real life, people just call me that. I was like. And so I brought when I came back to gaming and all this stuff, I was like, thought about that guy, FearJohnnyB, and that's pretty much how the name came together. FearJBaller. It was a combination of like music, people in real life, and then like scratching the nostalgia itch of living my 17-year-old's best life, I guess.
What, you're a
Um,
basketball fan, not a hockey fan? But the Panthers are so good.
no, I mean, it's easier to show yourself playing basketball than it is to see you show yourself playing hockey, at least in Florida. So that's
I get you.
you know what I mean. So that's why people knew that I played basketball more than I played hockey.
This is weird, especially with my build, but I was football and tennis were my two sports,
Oh yeah, I mean, I grew up playing hockey, brother.
which I always loved when I started playing tennis. A lot of people gave me shit for it. I'm like,
I suck at
but
tennis. Tennis is so hard.
it's hard, but you know what? I developed great hand-eye coordination and really great foot movement because of that game. And that's the entire reason I wanted to do it. I'm like, it's easier. Also, everybody there was it's high school. Everybody that played tennis at my school was a pothead, except for two people. So everybody was chill and nobody was I really disliked, and I'm not sure if this is the same way in basketball. I really dislike locker room culture, especially like hyper masculine locker room culture.
Mhm.
I can take it and I can dish it out. Trust me, I did and I had to. You know, I survived high school before there were cameras in it. Um, I'm assuming you did too, hopefully. But well, obviously you survived, just meant without cameras. I feel so bad for kids these days with cameras all over the goddamn place in schools because they can't get away with shit. But it you know what? You kind of brought up something earlier, and I wanna segue to it, which is like people like sneako bullying the like growing up and bullying the kids and stuff. And it's something that I struggle with a lot right now. Is and I tell this to my friends all the time. It's like you guys are not content. Like they might be in my videos and stuff. I'm like I don't want. Like I always try to remind them to like if I'm pushing myself too hard and I'm doing something because it's a funny bit, like they gotta push back on me because I don't want to ruin. I would rather fail at YouTube than ruin my friendships. 100%, like 10 out of 10.
True.
Um, so because it's I don't. I had this problem with a. I don't think I've talked about this. I had this problem with a fan, and I kind of understand why you handle because like me and you handle how we interact with play with fans very differently, which is funny. To me, not funny. It's just interesting, I guess, because I come from that like gaming clan background more, where to me everybody is just like I have an open door policy. Everybody can come in and play with me. And then I blew up on YouTube and started trying that with Tarkov, and I'm like, oh, this is this
Tarkov's the only game I hate playing with people in, though.
I kind of the same. I want to play with one. I want to play. I like duos and I like double duos, and the right trio can be fun. I've yet to find a 5-man that makes me go, I want to do this tomorrow night. I have a lot of fun in 5-mans, but I don't have a lot of fun where I go. Like I look
Do that
at
again.
right. It's an experience. It was an experience. I don't want to do it again necessarily with this group of people. Because like 5-mans, you either got to be, you got to play it like, oh god, I don't know if their group has a name. But it's I'm blanking on the dudes, Lupo and Genicles and oh god, there was like 4. I think it was a 5-stack. They usually just play on interchange. They would all stream and just play interchange all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's so weird. But it's the only way I would probably even consider 5-manning is if I could find a group that wanted to be like consistently, and I couldn't do this in my life right now, so I wouldn't ask anybody else to, but like every Saturday night at 10 o'clock, we're gonna 5-man in Tarkov for 2 hours. Because then you'll get good over time, but you gotta have people committing to the bit. I segueing away from my main point. So I had a fan that I kind of grew close with because they were also looking to be a YouTuber. And I was under the impression the entire time we were kind of like playing together and I'm like gathering clips, like he's also like editing and recording in the background. like in getting ready to release videos, and like it was work. I was like, I treated it kind of like a working relationship. So I was bullying him. I mean, I wouldn't describe it as bullying from my intention and my perspective, but I can see that from like a, like if I were viewing it from somebody else's perspective, I would view it as bullying, I guess, the way from the videos I released, especially. Um, Similar to the what's his name? You see Nick 30, the weird thing he did in Fortnite with
No.
kids that blew up. Oh god, it was, I don't know if it's Nick 30 or somebody else, but I think it's Nick 30. He he plays Fortnite. He is a family friendly channel.
I know who he
So
is.
okay, yeah. All right, so you know he is, like, cuts half the conversation out. He tried to do like a scripted scene in Fortnite, but they're kids, so they don't really understand how to act and do on cue in mass. So he's just banning kids. Like, he's like, mods, ban them from the Discord. Ban them. Just ban them. Get them out of here. Because one person had like one little screw up. And it was a funny clip that went viral. And like, I would never get to that level of bullying. But I guess when you're looking at like comedy well, you don't really do comedy bits in your stuff, but have you ever clipped stuff that you thought was funny and tried to push it? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I assume
Yeah.
everybody does, but um,
It
God,
would have to be organic stuff, but yeah.
that's where it is with me. Every time I try to be funny, it doesn't work.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not even me trying to be funny. It's just that something funny happens.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. All right.
And if I look back, like again, like everything I say that I do is based off of stuff that has already happened. So if I look at like the stuff that was popular, one of the ones that got close to 10,000 views on a short was I hate my friends, and it was me sitting inside the greenhouse inside town in the woods, the house next to garage house, and I hear somebody creep walking, and I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? And then I see my buddy just prone crawling in the middle of the street for no fucking reason. I'm like, dude, I fucking hate you. Like that was it. That was a clip. And it's like everybody knows a friend like that, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the comedy that sparks from stuff that I'm about, or not I'm about, but stuff that happens
I
naturally.
I agree. Yeah.
Me just calling my friends like dumb, or watching my friend fall to his death, or
What
just
a
being in the right situation at the right time.
I think one of the
Um,
hardest things with gaming, though, with that is when you're capturing those funny moments, is A, did you get the camera angle right? That's something that I started getting a lot better at, of trying to be cognizant of when a moment's happening and I'm recognizing it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to shadow play this. I'm like, let me take 2 steps to the left so everybody's in the camera frame and I can
right.
do more with editing.
I'm
Um,
looking at another one, and I think, funnily enough, it was playing Ghost Recon, Breakpoint, I think it's called. And what the hell happened? Oh, I'm sitting
oh,
up. I'm sitting up on this mountain where it's all snow, and I have the camera pointed towards my face, and you can see the mountain. And I come down. I'm standing there. I'm just drinking some water because you have to hydrate in that game. And then you see my buddy trying to follow my pathing, and he slips and falls and rolls all the way down the hill. And then you see him leave frame, and you see him crouching back into frame because he's all fucked up and hurt, and put a stupid song behind it, and bam, like 15,000 views. It was like those little things. But the hard part about that type of content is that you need to always be in the game. To get those stupid things could take a week of playing 15 hours a day.
yes, and so there a lot more of them probably happen than you're realizing too, but it's like you might chuckle at it, but if you were to watch it back and edit it right,
Exactly.
and that's
Yeah.
where you're talking about like finding the right edit. It's not even about finding an editor too, it's about finding the right editor for you. Because
Yeah, that's true.
I know this is very weird, but I watched it because I was like, I'm actually interested in the man's opinion because his videos obviously do really good. So I watched a little bit of an interview with one of Andrew Tate's big editors, whereas I think it's filmographer, not his editor. And he talked about the kind of the importance of tone in terms of when you're an editor, and it's something that I never really understood, because for a long time when I was editing, I'm like, I'm watching a documentary and I'm like, I could do this. I'm like, it's dark, ominous tones. That's a J cut. I'm like, I get this. But then, as like, it took that interview for it in my head to click and go, I understand what he's saying, because while editing, even if I would try to make something scary, it would still probably come off as humorous. And so, like, when you're trying to find an editor, right, it's about finding the. I would say one of the big things to do is probably go out. I don't know, I'm giving you unsolicited advice, but for me, from an editing perspective, is trying to find the person who you're watching videos, and it's the tone and the vibe is more what you're going for as opposed to what you're seeing. That, because that is going to change you drastically.
I agree.
Yeah,
I concur.
and then he also talked about other weird shit about being like, hey, here's how to be a top G filmographer, and I'm like, we're gonna leave the interview now.
Top G, baby.
Like, I'm top G, and I get it. I don't want to shit on Andrew Tate too much. I'm not trying to do that.
Go ahead.
He's a good. That man cracked algorithm code, and it is what it is. I think he's kind of fucking funny sometimes.
He's funny,
right? Like, because it just.
but he also might be a sex trafficker, so we don't know yet.
He might. Who the fuck knows?
We're gonna find out eventually.
It's the weirdest thing in the world, is you never know until you know, and I want to be very.
The crazy part about that is that he said it. He said it. Full stop. That he was a pimp. Full stop. He said it. He admitted it. He taught a course on it. He told you how to do it. It's like me telling you, saying, I've never killed anybody, but I tell you how to dispose of a body, how to kill somebody, where to put them, the time of day, the police route. Okay, you might have killed somebody, buddy.
You might have killed somebody, you might have known somebody, or you were around for it or something. You know a bit too many of the details, and details that they don't just release in the cop dramas.
Yeah. The details you have to know via experience.
Oh.
So it's just one of those things. But yeah, we don't know till we know. So that's my stance.
Speaking of,
I think he's funny.
He is funny. And speaking of experiences, just because it kind of popped in my head when we were talking about it, there's experiences in life that will always change you, and it's one of the reasons I love video games. Is because they, like, it allows you to experience different shit. And I love editing and showcasing that, because I don't know. I think like helping. Well, this is just getting into generic YouTube philosophy, but the idea of, like, being able to vlog our shared experiences. I don't want to say vlog, but yeah, vlog video. They're video logs at the end of the day. Some of the, like, the gaming shit, like being able to log, like, what we're doing with our time and, like, how we do this stuff is
just providing value in some way, shape, or form, buddy.
It provides a very basic value, and I think
some people like that, though.
Some people like it. I also think
it's just entertaining.
You and I have, yeah. I think there's a few types of gamers that can make it on YouTube, but one of them, I think you and I both have the background base level that I think most gamers should have, which is, if you want to be a gamer on YouTube or on, like, a streaming platform, I think you should have tried to push it competitive. You don't have to be successful competitive. And I don't just mean, like, I play rank matches when I get home from school. I mean, like, actively
tournaments. I travel to
going to tournaments, doing paid tournaments, doing we can't really talk about any of them, but doing barter sites or
I'm going to interrupt you here because I'm going to add on to this. Truthfully,
go. Yeah.
I really, really enjoy watching the Tarkov tournaments. They're the ones where they just do labs on the private servers, like level 4. They give them an account for level 42 or whatever. I like those tournaments. I think they're fun to watch. I think you learn a lot, and I think, not that I think, I'm going to start streaming every single one of those tournaments that I can, especially when Arena comes out. I'm also going to stream other tournaments because I really like watching Valorant tournaments. I think they're fun, they're exciting, and I just love getting hyped. Seeing fucking somebody clutch a fucking Call of Duty search match gets me so fucking tight in my pants, brother.
Have you ever considered shoutcasting? Because I've
thought about it, but if it gets to that point, but I would rather like start as a watch party kind of thing.
Well,
Only
it's the same. Well, it's
because
the same
it's
skill
just,
effective. Yeah.
it's the same idea. What's his name? Daltouche does that
Mm,
brilliantly. He fucking, you don't know who Daltouche is. He's an Apex streamer.
I do not actually. I don't watch a
He
lot of
is
Apex boys.
he blew up out of nowhere, and I'm not going to get into the reasons how he blew up, but he's a fantastic, fantastic Apex player. He can, if he wants to, rank in the top 50 every single season of Apex for sure.
Did
And
he
what
have
he
a?
does is he doesn't compete in any of these tournaments, but he always casts them. He brings a beer, he puts on a stupid fucking blazer, puts on his stupid glasses, and just goes hype watching these things happen. And he gets straight up more viewers than the actual pro channel gets. You know what I mean? Um,
Well,
and
because
that looks like a lot of fun to me, and I would love to do that with Tarkov.
because you have the experience, and I think you have a way of framing things that
Thank you.
yeah, your way of framing things from the PvP side of things always whenever I talk about PvP, I always start talking about like emotional side of things. 'Cause I'm always like, I want to talk about how the other person feels in this PvP. Like
Yeah,
I've been doing
fuck
Mordhau
his sports.
duels, right? I've been doing Mordhau duels right now. I don't know if you know what that game is.
Yeah, no more down.
Okay. Oh yeah, you watched me play the one. I, it's funny because there's some people that fight so respectfully in that game. I tend to be one of them, and then there's some people who fight so like I fight dirty when it's in like non-duels, but when it's a duel, like if I knock somebody's weapon out of their hand, I don't keep attacking them. I back off. I let them pick up their weapon and recharge their stamina, and then we keep going because I'm like, we're on a
There was
practice duel server. I don't care if I kill you.
there was I think a tweet somewhere, I don't know, somewhere somebody posted something about Star Wars. It was like, why don't they just shut off their lightsaber and to keep turning it back on? And it's like that is legitimately the best way to fight with a lightsaber. Like you go for a fake block, you turn off your lightsaber, you turn it back on, you just cut his head off.
Yep.
And it was like there's just that utter bit of respect that I wouldn't have. But even like every single Jedi, even Sith, they all have that respect to never do that. It's kind of funny.
They never do that. They never do feints. They never do.
Yeah, it's a very weird, respectful fighting style.
Yes, it's very like it's more akin to fencing. Jedi fighting is like fencing as opposed to sword fighting. Despite the
I think
fact,
that depending on the style, yeah.
depending on the style, yeah. I mean, I would say besides the one fight, which is Duel of the Fates, which is if you don't know I do like the Phantom Menace, but I know, and I feel most people do not hate the Duel of the Fates scene, which is the fight scene between the three of them, between Darth Maul and Obi and Qui-Gon.
Right.
Which is also one of the best. It is my third favorite piece of orchestra music is Duel of the Fates. It's just
yeah, it is pretty fucking fire.
Oh, I mean, my favorite is Prussian's Gloria, but it's a weird Prussia's national military anthem from the 1800s, but just 1700s was proven. Oh crap! Now I'm blanking on the. I don't want to talk about dates. I'm gonna make myself look like an idiot.
No, you're fine.
This is the one thing I always struggled with in school was dates. It's funny. I'm curious. One of the things that's been so I know you did the cyberpunk video. Are you, when you're talking about like adding value and changing your way up, and I love the idea of like I know you didn't describe it as shoutcasting, but I'm gonna call it shoutcasting because that's
sure. That's it could be.
Yeah,
it could be shoutcasting. You can call it that.
Have you looked at doing more variety stuff? Like, so I know you've been doing like variety stream stuff, but when
no, I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna keep doing variety stuff. Maybe one or two things, but it's
you're still pushing the Tarkov.
Well, I have to.
I get it. No, I get it. 100%.
I log into Discord and 15 people show up trying to play. I log off and everyone leaves. It's one of those things that like people only come to me because I'm good at Tarkov. And because I'm fun to be around playing Tarkov. And that's fine. I like Tarkov. I think Tarkov's an awesome game and I love playing it. So that doesn't bother me at all. If there comes a time where I can make other things. I'll make a separate channel. I'll start doing that, but it has to stay the same. And I've noticed, looking at other content creators, it has to be that way. It's just the way YouTube works.
You either need to be hyper consistent or hyper almost inconsistent. And
it's hyper inconsistent means they're not there for your content; they're there for you.
yes, and that
Like look at
is
General Sam.
yeah, and I can tell. Well, he's one of the people. I showed my brother his channel because he didn't know who he was, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, so we walked through his channel. So I'm like, listen, this man is one of my top influences on my channel. I'm letting you know that 100% because he's where I see. I don't want to do his content, right? Like I could easily. I don't want to say easily. It's a bad way to put it, but I could do his format. It's not difficult. I've done it a couple of times. The videos haven't done bad. Which is actually which is really funny. It's most of the videos on my channel that have done well, that have like taken time edited, that are long form. There's somebody else's format that works. So like General Sam's or Nanos. I don't know if you know who he is. So mainly
There's
squad.
one guy I know in VR. Let me type in VR subscriber him. He always comes up. Let's see, his name's Hobby147. He's a guy who kind of is what you're talking about. He only does VR stuff, but he started off doing like what blew him up was VR mods for Skyrim. And now he just talks about pretty much any VR game he's playing. They're all no more than like, 8-minute videos, and they're fun. They're stupid, they're funny, and he's just like a dude who does his stuff after work, and he's blown the fuck up for that particular reason. They're not there for VR stuff. They're there to watch him talk about VR stuff.
Oh, there's I'm blanking.
And it's not like insightful stuff. It's really surface level things that have funny cuts. That he plays like Blade and Sorcery. He'll talk about an update. He'll talk about 3 base level things about an update while he's like slowly pushing a sword through someone's skull. Like, yeah, so this is weird, huh? Yep, just take it. There you go. Okay.
Oh, I've seen. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
You know what I mean? And he does those kinds of things, and it's extremely funny. It's in the short, sweet 8-minute videos to the point of things that are interesting.
That's, I think, been the big thing with me with watching, or with making long form videos. I have watched the least amount of long form videos this year than I ever have in my life. Normally, most years, I tend to like watching movies and reading books and watching long YouTube videos, but Tarkov streaming cuts into that. Editing, it's been hard for me to watch a video while editing. I can watch a stream and edit because it's a bit,
listen to a podcast and edit.
yeah. But watching a video is as soon as I start paying attention to it, I'm like, oh, I'm disinterested in my video that I'm editing now. Which is funny. It's not actually a bad thing. It's been one of the. Have you ever done any? This is a weird question. Have you ever done any creative writing, or professional writing too? Say okay. So you know how setting it down, walking away, coming back.
Yep.
How many times did you do that with the Cyberpunk video? How many rounds of?
That video. Oh man, that video was 40 hours, straight up of scripting, rewriting the script, rewording the script, changing I've recorded it a bunch of times, and then I realized the best way to do it was I broke down the entire script into 27 segments. I think it was something like that, and each segment I recorded 30 seconds. So that 30 seconds ended up being 8 to 10 minutes when it was all said and done, so I wouldn't fuck something up. And it took me that long. I was I'm reading a robot. I let my mom listen to it. I'm how would that sound? Because she's it doesn't sound like you're talking. It sounds like you're reading something. So I went back and I did it a bunch of times, so it sounded like I was just talking to a friend. So it took me about a full 40 hours of work week to make that entire video.
That has been a struggle for me too, by the way, is speaking naturally while reading from a script. Every time I've done scripted, it's I think
that's the thing that helped me was breaking it down to 27 segments.
Yep.
Instead of reading a paragraph, I read 2 sentences. I was I didn't like that. I didn't like the way that sounds. So I would read a sentence in my mind and be like, "Welcome to Cyberpunk, blah blah blah." Hey, dude, guess what we're doing today? And it just broke down like that. You know what I mean? And I kept picturing like me talking to a friend, not me reading. So it said, hey, today in this video we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk. Like, hey, dude, guess what? I got something new to tell you today. I just saw this on Cyberpunk and I want to show you. Like that was like the mindset of how it swapped.
So the way I do, if I have to record audio for myself, like I'm talking, or I'm doing a video where I'm talking, like where you see me and but most of my stuff is like I shadow play clips, so I'm not generally dubbing over, but I've been trying to start wanting to do more like, here's a tip, but if you go,
You should.
right, yeah, they're fun. Um, it's just hard sometimes to be like, is this tip actually a good tip or is this dumb?
Yeah,
But
100%.
you know what? Hey, you know how you find out is by just doing it.
By posting it.
Yep,
Yeah.
we'll find out eventually. So what I do is I record, like if I record by sentence generally, and I will
Hmm.
say the same sentence 3 times in a row, and then I usually have my desk standing while I'm recording audio lines. So I'll record the same audio 3 times in a row, and then kind of like do a couple squats, stand up,
Yeah, I
read
thought
the
about
next
standing
line.
too, but
Yeah, and
I just said I get it though.
it does help you speak. So it depends on the vibe you're going for. And I think it, like if I'm trying to go for like the casual relax, like, hey, let's just chill and talk, guys, I want to sit. Because if I talk and try, or if I stand and try to do that, like when you stand and talk, you tend to put on a more, or at least I do, tend to put on a more like presence, I guess, with your voice, and you're more, at least I do. I come off very more authoritative, and it's been very interesting. Like it, the more I've like changed my body positions, and I'm curious if you've pulled anything about like your mannerisms. I'm assuming you have, but like so many of my mannerisms I've worked on and tried to fix because I've edited, and you watch yourself back and you're like, oh, that's annoying as fuck.
Um,
And my friends don't
uh,
say anything.
I don't record my face or my hand, but I do. I speak with my hands a lot. So regardless of, I'm always doing that when am making these videos.
I
But
suffer from
I mean,
Italianism, so I get it.
I've been in sales for like Jesus Christ for so many years now. So
That's
I don't really overthink it like that. I just talk about things. The main thing that I've noticed and that I learned this from sales is you can't sell something you're not passionate about, and you can't sell something you don't believe in. The people will know. Unless you know, I mean, there are people who can. Fuck those people. They're sociopaths,
it
but they are so
is.
fucking good at lying. That's not me. Most people, you have to sell something that you are truly passionate in and something that you truly believe in, because then you can talk to that person like a human being. So that's how I go about it.
That's been one of the greatest things about the job I picked up is I work so I work directly under a sales team. And I have to explain technical shit to them. So we sit down, like we'll sit down in an office and I'll explain to them, and I'm like, I don't know how to explain this to a customer, but we're going to walk through it. Right? And I'll walk through the process with them, and I see the notes they take, and watching them translate how I'm speaking into how to sell what I'm speaking is so fucking fantastic. I wish I could do it with video games with them because they're very good at it, but I'm like, I'm trying to not let my work know that I make YouTube videos. Hopefully
Yeah, because I'll try
forever.
to get more fucking free work out of you, huh?
Oh, no, I actually have no problem making YouTube videos. I don't want them to know I have a channel because I don't want them
Oh, I
to
got you.
ever go to it because I have some weird shit on there that's just, it's weird. Um, I live under the idea that well, I want to say live. I operate on the assumption that one of my clips might go viral and they might find out about it, but in which case I don't see what the problem
Fuck 'em.
would be, but fuck it, right.
Yeah.
um so it's also the weird thing is like my mom will like be talking to like her friends' kids and they'll be like, oh, I'm playing Tarkov, and she'll be like, oh, my son plays video games, or he plays that game, and like it's like she got her IT guy at her work onto my YouTube channel, and it was very weird because I'm like, they're a potential client of ours where I have to go in and do like like detailed technical work potentially in the future with. I'm like, that's just, it's a weird, like it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. Because it could be, hey, here's this cool guy, and me and him are just cool together, or it could be, hey, here's our technical guy that comes in and fixes this stuff for us. I'm gonna show you this really stupid video of him now, to a client of ours, and that just I,
So
yeah,
bring us back.
to bring us back.
What kind of value do you see yourself providing? If you could make a shift to make something that works overnight,
So if I wanted to make content that worked for, well, I've there's two veins. There's the if I didn't have a job and wasn't able to get a job, I am well aware of how to make, I think, in my opinion, some viral YouTube videos. For however my soul would be dead making them.
what kind
So
of
like
video?
the Reddit recap videos are a good example, or not Reddit recap, Reddit. So the posts of like people basically taking
Oh, and
Reddit
then like the
posts,
robot voice reads it and shit.
robot voice, not even the robot voice. I could do it. I've done
Yeah, you could do
I've
it.
done voice narration before.
I've seen
So
people do like movie recaps.
mhm.
That's a big one too.
Yep, those things.
Science recaps,
I,
all that kind of stuff.
so one of the biggest videos, funny
But
enough.
but let's not
Oh,
talk about things that you would think about
oh,
doing that would
gotcha.
work. What do you want to do tomorrow that is going to provide value?
So
Because like I
once
say, I could make fucking Twitter porn videos. Like
oh god, there was a brief moment when I was like at my lowest point. I'm like looking at my bank account go low, and I'm like, I'm unemployed. I'm just making YouTube videos, and I'm like, I could easily make porn videos. Probably, I could easily make compilation videos and potentially make money.
all right, we're
off
getting
them.
sidetracked. Your value,
Yeah.
go.
Anyways, your value. If I had to make a video tomorrow for value, it would be talking to people about their mental health while gaming, because I think
Ooh.
it's something people mainly struggle with, and most people that come at it are either they're coming at it from the lens of like they took a psychology degree in college, and they're not coming at it necessarily like they're a psychologist who is a gamer, not a gamer who is a psychologist. There already obviously is frick, why am I blanking on his name? The big Twitch guy,
Dr. K.
Dr. K. Thank you. I was gonna say big Twitch Indian guy, and then it's not really. Anyways, like he does it, but he does it in a way that I always feel like he's putting the mental health first, and I know that's a weird way to put that, but what gets gamers going is games, and this kind of cycles back to that like better way to game thing I'm talking about, which is I think people get upset at video games when you die, or you don't understand how to direct that emotion and that aggression. Like you got juked, somebody screwed you over, the server crapped out, and you lost your Tarkov shot because of it, or stuff happens. Like you get disconnected, you come back, you're dead. Congratulations, you just lost your kit. Like rather than getting angry, just being like walking them through how I got to not be angry about those situations. But from a game perspective, which is like looking at the game in a different way. And I've done some videos like this, and they've actually done okay. I'm trying to, like, again, getting back to that, I'm getting my editing skills to the point where I can actually action the videos that I like. What's in my head and what comes out on screen are two very different things.
All right.
Um,
When I hear that, I think about the thing that I want to do. But the thing that I think about when I hear this and when I think about it myself are, why would someone care about what I have to say?
boom.
Right? Like why would anybody listen to this podcast? Why would anybody, you know what I mean? And it comes back to and I see it in other things. Like you see like 19, 20-year-olds, like, I want to be a motivational speaker. It's like you haven't lived life enough a life long enough with experience to provide that value. Or even if you have, no one's going to care because you're 19.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be 40. You have to be like in your late 30s, early 50s. People are like, oh, that person's actually lived. You know what I mean? So it's like, those are battles that I kind of sit back and I'm like, that's the true battle of value proposition for me, and maybe it isn't for you. Why would someone even want to listen to me?
So
Is it
there's just having the well, I would say, to jump in, confidence in that people want to listen to you is a good sometimes it's just a good starting step of going, I don't know if what I'm saying has value, but let me try to do it anyways. But
well, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that's like I think that's just the first step of doing it.
mhm.
But
But we've already
from
gotten
a
past that point. Yeah,
yeah, well, we're already
yeah.
past that point. So now we're looking at it, being like, what's the value? Why isn't someone listening? Why would they continue to listen?
So with me, I know
And
it's
it's
well, with me, I can go into that real easy because it's something I
okay.
used to do. The problem is that it's
But
difficult
how
to
do you
showcase.
show that to
Yes,
exactly well, like that's the hard part. What are you going to do to showcase to people that you're not just a guy who thinks he knows too much?
I
You're actually a guy who knows something valuable, right?
yeah, I've been running Arma every Saturday and building a group so I can have the. But part of the issue I ran into with my content, I didn't realize this is when my content blew up right before it did, and people were starting to identify with it. Um, I was still hanging out with my like gaming friends a lot, and I was playing consistently with the same people, and so they were help. They would help keep some of my stupidity in check over a year. Like, we're talking people I've been gaming with for 10 years. So, like, they were with me when I was 22 and doing really, really stupid shit. And so when I fall into my own pitfalls, you get trapped in your own, like, toxic mindset, or like, you don't think it's toxic, but the rest of the world does. Like, when you get trapped in a mindset, like, having friends to break you out of it really quick is always beneficial. And that was something I did not realize I missed. And I had to learn how to navigate around without, which I still don't. But the only way I've found is that if I'm being cringy, I don't edit it right away. So like if I feel like I watch it back and I go, this is weird, this is cringe, this is toxic, this is like I don't know, best way to put it, a shoulda-ville level video, like where you're intentionally trying to piss people off by releasing it. I like to wait on editing those videos for that reason, because then it allows me to get that perspective on myself as
But
opposed
is
to
it? But and that's gonna you think that's gonna give people a perspective of you that you're
oh
knowledgeable in these things?
no, sorry, okay, so sorry, I guess that was a segue branch off. To showcase that I'm knowledgeable in it, I
Yeah,
just need to, in my opinion, number one, I want to do it for my own sake. I want to get my armor
yeah,
group back together, so there's
of course.
part
Yeah,
of
that's
that.
huge.
And then the flip side of it is once I have those people and I have those conversations again, I know enough of my friends that I'm hopeful at some point I could convince a couple of them to want to like sit down and talk in
Okay.
a group style. And so I need to show competency to my
Yeah,
channel before I
100%.
action a video, and that's why I haven't been releasing those. But I do want to do
I can
one
see
of the
that being difficult, but no, yeah,
well
like getting people to sit down would be difficult. I don't think doing what you're saying would be difficult.
yeah, the ones I'm going to start with first, and these are the ones I've already started scripting and working out, are are you familiar with Asmongold's second channel, Zach Rahr?
Not really.
Okay. So instead of him sitting in front of his computer in his like gamer fucking dwelling, he is like outside. He's sitting on a
Oh, okay.
porch, sitting out like, and it's just well, you have a brother. Like, you ever just sit on the porch and talk?
So,
Up, like it's just a chill. Like, we're gonna have a heart to heart conversation. I'm trying to script videos so that they're natural, but they have a point to them.
yeah, of
Um,
course.
yeah, and that way
Curated content. Curated
it's
content.
stupid
That's what
easy
they
to
call it.
edit, but trying to find those. I've been doing a lot of like filming myself IRL and right, like trying to
Cool.
find those right angles. I've released a few videos, not a lot, but um, because like I recorded some early on, but they're like four-wheeler videos, and they're just very. I don't have a GoPro, so like I'm holding the camera
Oh yeah,
and I
that's kind of look
and,
choppy.
and driving a four-wheeler one-handed, like, which is
Yeah,
dangerous. So,
yeah.
um,
Got all the camera shaking, all that stuff.
that's, oh God, I think that's, honestly, the videos I want to make the most, by the way, and it's weird segue, but the videos I want to make the most are I really want to speed on the highway and record myself and cut to it, but I don't want to get a ticket.
True.
So it's cuz like I drove ambulances at high speed, and I drove my motorcycles at high speed on throughway and on like even on country roads and stuff. And it is honestly something that, like, you've driven around the streets of Cyberpunk going like super fast.
I've driven really fast on the streets in my town, going really fast.
Right. We've all done it. It's really, really fun. And I'm like, I could turn these in. I'm like, I'm watching it happen. I'm like, I could turn these into really dope edits. Like the best edits. I think. They probably wouldn't be the best edits. You know, in my head they are, but what actually would come out would be,
Yeah,
yeah,
good percent.
you get the comments of people being like, this person's gonna kill themselves by the time they're 30. And or some stupid shit like that. Um when you're talking about value, I'm
Yeah,
curious because this is something that I still struggle with. Entertainment is a value, but when you're thinking about value, when you think about YouTubers with value, like who comes to mind first for you?
it just depends. Like you said, entertainment is a value for sure. So I
And
mean, it just depends. I don't
I guess we could break it down by
uh,
category. Like I'm curious if you,
like.
so like if I think about like for me for value for YouTube, eh, and I know I don't make this content, but it's tutorial content. Is anybody that makes tutorial shit at a high level, to me they're the best YouTube content. Um Generally history documentaries are the people I like the most. And I look at those as tutorials, but they're not, it's a gamer tutorial for history, right? You're being tutored on history, and how to
I
walk
mean,
through it.
okay. I'll try to answer this.
That's probably a stretch, but
It
so
it, it it's different. So in gaming, in particular, you can look at people who are really really good, like Landmark. You could look at people like Tifu, who are just extremely competitive, and they're just dunking on dudes nonstop, and that's value. It's entertainment value, but their value is from being good. It's like a competitive standpoint, and then I mean, outside of gaming, you have like education, you have entertainment, you have
uh
education could be about like cars, you can do about like news and politics. You could just do like vlogs. You could talk about animals. You could do like scientific stuff, which is learning, I guess.
okay, sorry,
Sports and travel.
let me
So I'm
rephrase
trying
what
to
I was,
understand.
yeah, let me
Yeah.
rephrase what I was trying to ask. So for me, when I look at value in YouTube, um I guess going back to my earlier point, when I look at value, I look at somebody like General Sam as a value that I am, like if I had to follow a path and I had to tell someone I'm on this path, like he is probably the easiest one I could point to that goes, do you see his content? Do you see how none of it, like it's related but it's not related to each other at the same time?
No, you're there for General Sam.
Yeah, right. You know, and you kind of, to me when I'm looking at value, also I'm looking at I guess the question I'm trying to ask you is like when you're looking out at gamer value. I guess we can
Who
keep it with
who would
video
I
game.
try to emulate? I guess
Not even emulate. Like I don't even want to say the most valuable gamer because that's a bad way to put it. But yeah, I mean emulate might be the best way because that's what
emulate.
I'm.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah,
you should, because you're trying to emulate an idea that General Sam is doing. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what
hmm,
everybody does, right?
yeah. Everybody steals from
Um,
everybody. It's not, nothing's original until it is.
I like Landmark a lot. I know that might be like a gimp answer, but I feel he is like the most human person in terms of like the streaming Tarkov space. That doesn't try to do too much. He just games. He doesn't get into any of the drama. He doesn't do any of the stuff. He just games and like provides value to his community by just being himself. And he's very, 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 very good. So if I were going to go about doing something of that nature, it would be the what should you call it? Shoutcasting,
Hmm.
something like that.
Shoutcasting. Okay.
Or is it? What do you call it?
Yeah, shoutcasting.
Shoutcasting. Um, I love the way his stuff is edited. I hate I mean, dude, Willer Z is amazing. I hate watching his YouTube videos. They're too long. They're too drawn
Oh,
out.
I like his shorts.
They're so boring.
Yeah, and that's. I mean,
And
I like his shorts though, because it gets to the point right away with him,
100%.
which is
He like
crack skills.
a crack skills. I want to see how fucking good he is all the time. And yeah, I want to hear some of his conversations, but I don't want to see him running around the same route that I see him do 800 times. It's so fucking boring. Landmark will do a 15-minute video, but put like 4 raids in that video. Straight PvP die, straight PvP kill.
Oh yeah,
Quick,
he's right to the
you
highlight
know,
of the raid almost. Like it's
every
like
single video is a highlight video, but it doesn't make you feel like it's a highlight video. It
I'm
makes it feel like you're watching a full raid, but you're not. That is so fucking good, and nobody else does it for whatever fucking reason.
I'm gonna slightly disagree with you, but not in a
Nobody does
highlight.
it as good. Show me one person that does that as good
Are you
and gets. Go
okay?
ahead, tell me.
Are you familiar? Not as many views. 100% agree.
No, it has to get as many views.
Oh, okay, yeah, nowhere near close.
That's my point.
I was
And we can say it's because of his massive subscriber base, but regardless, he
well,
was
he
still
has the
getting that consistently amount of views before he hit 500,000 subscribers.
well,
It's
he
because
got he got the subs because he was providing the content and providing the value.
exactly. Yes.
And
Yes.
so I was gonna say a person who I feel does this well, or a person who has editors that are trying to do this well. I'm gonna guess you're familiar with Aqua FPS, just because he's got an item in Tarkov.
That is, but his content is nowhere near the same.
Nowhere near the same. What? There's a reason I'm bringing this up in with Landmark.
Okay.
So Aqua has a second channel called Also Aqua, which is
Yeah.
he
That's
has
like it's weird. That's like his main channel, really. That's where
it,
like everything pops up on. It's weird.
that's where everything pops up on because he has 3 editors that edit his
Right.
videos on those channels. And I think if he were to only edit in one style, kind of like where Landmark's channel is kind of like it's almost all one. Like if you watch a section of it, it's very consistent. And so
Yeah.
it builds. Like every time you see the video, you're like, you know what you're in store for. You're in store for a highlight raid video. Also
Yeah.
Aqua,
I want to see him shit on people.
also Aqua. Anytime it's a Tarkov video, it is also a Tarkov compilation video. But the reason I love Aqua is, to me, he is representative of the average Tarkov
Average player base. Yeah.
Yes.
He's not very good at Tarkov, is what you want to say. You could just say it.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah.
But
he has
you know what I
fun
mean?
with
He knows
so.
it. He doesn't go in and like being a competitive gamer. He's there because he's a really good streamer and he loves Tarkov. And like you said, he's the epitome of an average Tarkov player. But still, that's
But
not the same realm. That's you know what I mean? The value's there, but I don't think it's comparable.
Well, no, I guess what I was comparing it is it's taking a raid and it's taking a section's raids and doing those like they're not vertical slices technically because they're more compilations. I haven't done a vertical slice in a while. I'm curious why you never have, because it seems very appropriate with your style. They are a bitch to edit though.
The reason I don't do it is because the algorithm doesn't care for me for when I do it.
Oh, yeah,
That's the
okay.
truth.
Never. Okay, they never. I've tried to go through your channel a few times. I guess I've never seen them. Which is
What do you
funny.
mean, like vertical slice, like Aqua, like a bunch of shit together, smashed?
So vertical slice is I would describe it as like pre-shorts, pre-TikTok. Before that, like it's the idea of ADD, attention spam. So only highlights, and I mean rapid fire highlights. So when you're doing a vertical slice, like a minute should be the max, unless it's the like if you have a pinnacle moment of the video, like let's say you have an 8-minute video, most of the clips should be a minute or less inside of it, and then one of them might be like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and it's like the capstone. This should be the most replayed moment, and we're gonna give it extra time because it needs that extra time and context.
I mean, in terms of normal videos, my normal videos don't do well in that manner, so that's why they don't get posted. It's just the way that it is.
Oh yeah, I've been hit and miss with some of mine lately too.
It's just this the way it is. Like my shorts do better, but the videos that do well in that kind of format are like the stupid ones. Like I learned this after 1,000 hours of playing. You know, like little tip stuff did the best. A couple guides did pretty well, but nowhere near as like 500,000 views or 250,000 views on a video. that was 30 seconds long.
Oh
You know,
God, yeah.
it provided a extreme amount of value. Like even Veritas commented, I was like, I didn't even know that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um,
That's been that is a hard thing to do though, is finding, and I know
that's luck.
it's luck, right? That's
It's luck. I can pat myself on the back, but it's fucking luck, man.
well, so I look at this is one of the reasons I went the editing route, is because I don't want to pay money for an editor ever. I kind of came to that, like, unless I'm streaming and it's like we're really big YouTube point, like where you either pay an editor or you go down the route of somebody who takes 3 months to edit a video. Which are great channels, by the way. I love some of the YouTube channels that take like months to edit a video and then it comes out and it's like they're like movie level productions. Maybe it's only a 10-minute video, but it is,
Like Mr. Beast.
yeah, Mr. B's great example. Someone's gonna pour he's probably the pinnacle of that, in fact. um I was the first one to do, or at least the first one to upload. You remember the one where you had to try to the task before you were able to access the island on Lighthouse, where you had to run at the gate and then run away from the gate to attempt to establish communications?
I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, I was the first one to upload a tutorial for that to YouTube.
Okay. How'd that do?
Kind of okay, but it did okay on an initial push, but then other people's tutorials started coming out like rapid fire real quick after mine.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, they're leagues ahead of me. And so like mine did good initially until people came on, and then by good I mean, I shouldn't say good, did 1,000, but it was picking up traction, and then it just stopped because you can see where it all started going to, because YouTube went, oh, people want a tutorial on communication difficulties. Let's send them to the video that's getting 10,000 views instead of 1,000, which all credit to you. I'm not knocking the algo. It's the right choice.
Yeah. I mean, the algorithm is also saying that people aren't watching your videos, like they're leaving.
Yes. Well,
You know, so it's
no.
yeah.
With that one, it was, well, no.
Let's
that one.
bring
was,
it up. Bring it up right now.
I'll
Let's
bring it up. Yeah.
Bring it up. Bring it up. Fact checks.
We'll bring it up. We'll see how. Big
I'm actually curious. You know, like what's the what do people leave the video?
This one got 8,900 views.
Okay. 8,900. That's what, almost 9,000. Okay.
Well, I got one subscriber off of it. Okay.
Okay.
Where is the blanket? Average view duration 43 seconds on a 1 minute video, 1 minute 11 second video. So it's
a little more than half.
A little more than half.
So, and then what was the click through rate and stuff like that?
Click through rate 12%.
Not too bad.
Yeah, it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not like a bad video. It's just
but
the problem is the quality of the video is bad. The quality of the tutorial is bad, because the way I do the tutorial is I was like, I'm not gonna go back in game and film some of this stuff. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna open up a MS Paint document and we're gonna paint a little picture for people to show them where they are and where they're going to.
You kind of half-assed it.
100%. That's
okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like yeah. The fact that there was only one subscriber, I think, was YouTube was like, they watched it, but they didn't like it.
Yep.
And how many likes were on the video out of 8,900?
42. Which is,
yeah. If you would have hit maybe 200 likes on that video would have blown out.
Probably
100%.
And
100%.
And it's one of those things where I've started, it's weird when you make videos and you're like, you're trying to, well, you were doing it like where you're trying to push for the luck, and
that's what I was doing. Yeah, it was just luck. It was just like, I'm just gonna mass upload everything and hope for the best. And now it's like that's not as sustainable as I want.
Oh Jesus, I released that one in 2021.
So yeah, now it's like I really do want to stream important events. Like my best streams ever were streams that I was streaming Tarkov TV. I got 400 concurrent viewers watching like 3 Tarkov TVs ago, or like 2 Tarkov TVs ago.
That's holy shit. Yeah, that's fucking really good.
And that put especially in
especially on YouTube, because it's YouTube's very snowbally with viewers.
It was close to like 500 concurrent viewers. It was absolutely fucking insane.
Unlike Twitch, which is, oh god, I don't want. You know what's funny? We haven't talked about this, I don't think, in a while.
Twitch
or ever.
Sucks.
Twitch is so bad for, like, I do like Twitch for one level. The only level I like about Twitch is you can really push DMCA on Twitch.
Yeah,
And
okay, I agree.
that's
You can listen to whatever the fuck you want, man. I love
right.
that.
As long as it's edited out, Twitch really don't give a fuck.
Yep.
So,
Twitch will mute it anyway, so it act like it never existed.
yep. What VOD? Those VODs don't exist.
Yeah, what
Copyright.
VOD? Whatever. And that's how they get away with it, assholes. It
Prove it in a
works.
court of law. Did you record that stream?
Yep.
No? All right, cool. Go F yourself.
Yeah, exactly. They would have sit there and record all of their streams.
Yep.
But yeah, no. What were we saying?
I don't think I had a point after that. That was I guess.
But yeah, no, the luck thing. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like the 400 concurrent viewers. So now I'm trying to find like what else could I stream that is a watch party / shoutcast, and I think that is where a huge. I think I provide a lot of value there.
Yeah.
Not because I think it, but just because the analytics say that I do.
Well, the analytics are there, but there's also the concept of, for example, if you go on to, oh God, there's the one tournament's coming up in Tarkov. I blank on their name every time. Is it? I don't know if it's an evasion tournament that's coming up, but there's a that's coming up.
I'm gonna be watching it. Dude. You can even do it with me. We can just sit there and talk about Tarkov. I can yell at you. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea. We could.
But yeah, I think those things would be fun. I want to do it with like Call of Duty, maybe some Valorant stuff, but mostly Tarkov. You know, just like some competitive shit. Be the guy who talks about it.
Well, because having somebody that you can, having somebody, and I'm gonna put this in the nice way, hopefully, having somebody like you that's approachable. Because if you go on to Pesley's stream while he's watching a tournament, you're not connecting with him ever.
No, exactly.
Like
that's 100% true. That's 100% true.
And you want to get to that point, right? Like as a content creator, but from a viewer perspective, there's so much more value in having somebody that.
That's what I noticed too.
Yeah,
I was playing Stalker, and I don't know if I'm patting myself on the back here, but I feel like you said, I'm extremely approachable, and I am able to hold a conversation, especially if it's a one-on-one conversation when I'm streaming. And literally, a guy donated me $100 after talking to him for 2 hours.
Jesus.
He was like, dude, he worked in like power plants, messing with like nuclear stuff. He wore like the big suits, you know, like the big fucking hazmat suits, and he just worked in that all day. And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm just I had a great conversation talking to you. I've loved watching you play Stalker. Here's $100. And then you just had money, you know, and I feel like I'm good at those types of interactions, so to speak. I'm good at relaying information that I see in front of me to people, I think, decently well.
You would be yeah, I think you are. I think it's one of the things I can tell you, talking with other content creators, you know, because I tried to work with a bunch before, not really like a lot, but like you start talking with them and it's difficult to break the barrier and break the ice, and like neither of us is unwilling to talk first, right? If that makes sense, but we're also willing to like listen to the other person, and it's a hard skill, and I think it comes from I'm gonna guess that your family is very open communication. Yeah, I'm Italian, and so we yelled a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We don't. It's not weird to talk about anything in my family, kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah. It's one of my favorite Thanksgivings. So, when I'm going to try to make this as non-political as possible, when Hillary Clinton was elected to Senator of New York State for the first time, my grandma sat down at the Thanksgiving table, and the first words out of her mouth after the prayers were finished were, "I voted for Hillary because she was a woman." And then she started eating. There are 20 people around this table. Most of them were offended by what she just said.
Yeah, I figured, right? Most people didn't like.
And it was just, she was a G. I miss that woman so much. Just to showcase it. Just my favorite thing she ever did. She smoked most of her life, so she was on an oxygen tank in her last few years. She had never ridden on a snowmobile, so she got on a snowmobile with an oxygen tank. Like, just I think she was in her 70s, 80s when she did that. It was insane. Like, middle of winter, just strapping an oxygen tank. I'm like, what are we doing? She's like, I'm only going down the road. All right, yeah, no, you lived life long enough. You deserve.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Fly off that cliff and go out on your own terms, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Um, I guess one thing that so Tarkov, I'm in a weird state with it, and you're still playing it, so are you very hopeful about the future of Tarkov in your mind still, or are you kind of, I know, I don't want to say you have to be because you can't, like, you're streaming and you're playing and you're passionate about it, so you're obviously like into it, but when you think about the future of Tarkov, I, I'm very enamored with the game. I love the game, and but I'm right now very wary of the future with the game. Like the TV, the Tarkov TV left me like, on one hand they do so many things so awesome and so cool. The set design was fantastic. Nikita's a G. I love the way he kind of actually responds back to people and claps back, and he stands his ground. It's really cool for a dev, right? Versus you watch any other dev, they either don't say shit or like they cow at the first sign of aggression from the community. But I part of me feels like they're over their head with Tarkov, kind of like we are with YouTube in a way.
Maybe.
And they don't know how to like get over a hump, because for me this last year, and it could just be where I am at personally in life, but it's the game has felt like I even with Streets release, like it just didn't get me excited.
I don't know. I don't know. I just think I don't care.
Mm.
Like
You-
I like not I don't care about your statement, but I
no,
just don't
I
care.
get you. Yeah.
Like I can go down the rabbit hole and tell you why I don't anymore. But that's for another time.
So I guess,
To
well,
say,
I like an
but
example. I guess if like it, like if you run into like a netcode issue in Tarkov, right, where you're not able to like, it mainly happened on Streets, but I think we talked about. I'm pretty sure you had a couple instances of this where like you would walk off a building, you like try to walk through a door and it teleports you back or it snaps you back a lot, like
yeah,
those
yeah.
issues. Okay, so what I'm getting at is like, is there a point that having those happen to you, do you think would drive you? I don't want to say drive you away. That's not a great way to put it. I'm not trying to turn your mind against Tarkov, because
No,
I
you
love,
can.
yeah,
You
I
can. You can
can't.
if you
Number one, I
can.
can't even want to, but like, because
No, it's not. I don't. Nobody can convince me to do anything that unless I want to do it. Like
yep,
that's just how I am. So
all the same
I
way.
I can understand what you're saying. But no, it doesn't bother me. There are so many people that get so emotionally involved in something they can't control,
Mm.
and I sit here and I watch it, and I just don't fucking care. Like if the game blows up, all right, I move on. If it doesn't, I get to keep playing.
If it doesn't, right, you
I
get
I,
to, it's
I don't speculate. People come in during the Tarkov T things like, "What do you think wipe is?" Like, I don't fucking know.
there
Like,
was
what do you think about some guys like, what do you think about Rengar's video? I'm like, shit, because I don't care. Like what like unless like Tarkov says something, I don't care. I don't speculate. I
well
don't
that
care about what I don't know how they run their business. I don't care what they're doing. Like unless they're stealing money from my pocket or like physically harming me, I don't care.
have you ever
And I
thought
don't know
about
why
have you ever thought about reacting to people when they do that? Like so when
I
people say like watch Rengar's video,
kind of
like
want to, but I'll say some really mean shit.
no, I mean like go like watch Rengar's video on your stream and review it. Like you
Yeah,
ever
I
thought
would
about
say
doing
some
that?
pretty mean shit.
I
Like I
oh
just think too many fucking people get invested. I think too many people are self-absorbed and entitled. I
mhm.
think too many people just want what they want that don't fucking work hard enough. Or if something doesn't go their way, they blame the world. It's like, who gives a shit? Get the fuck over it.
Right, like
I was on Twitter today and I saw the drama about the leaderboards, and my God, it is so pathetic and childish. And I don't know if Nikita planted this seed in people's minds, and if he did, he's a fucking genius to get people to keep talking about Tarkov. But god damn, it doesn't fucking matter.
I
All this shit doesn't fucking matter. And
wait,
every
so he's
makes
putting
it
leaderboards in the game? Is I guess I
yes,
missed
okay. So
this.
there's a
Okay.
leaderboards right now, right? Tiggs is number one. It's like Tiggs, Hyper Rat, maybe Chef. I know Desmond is super pissed off because he can't get number one right now because people are giving Tiggs viewer kits because Tiggs deleted his entire stash and Tiggs is now like number one in kills
Oh, is this
or like hyper.
tab
Huh?
stats? Is this tab stats or what?
It's on the EFT site. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
But yeah, it's in. Yeah, dude, they posted it and It's like the people who get top 10 in the top 100 in this new rating system. That's not new; it's just old. They just brought it back.
Oh, right.
Will
Oh, shit. This is
will
okay.
will
Yeah,
get
I remember this. Holy hell.
did you open it?
Yeah, I'm in it right now. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, rating three season pre-wipe 3.5 season. So the person who is the most kills only counts for PMCs is okay. So Tiggs was number one, but I guess now there's somebody new. There's so much fucking bullshit about the fucking leaderboards, man, and people are just bitching and complaining about it. Like
I
it,
I
like
like
like.
this because this actually gives you an easy way to like look at comparing yourself. Because to be honest, when I
But
see
dude, this is what people are doing. They're going to factory. They're rushing with fucking Sobralos, Altons, and M4995, and then they're killing three people and leaving. Nobody's in a raid for more than like 2 minutes. That's the thing. So from a skill perspective, maybe it's there, maybe it's not. But who cares? Just have fun.
people are
Like it's
in
a fucking
people are in
game,
factory
bro.
PvPing, go.
Dude,
Like,
oh my god!
that actually
Of
makes me want
course,
to
people
play.
are gonna look, and you can just see who the fucking cheaters are. I think this is like a honeypot for cheaters too. But dude, it's so crazy how much drama this is sparking, and how like insignificant it fucking is, man.
Right.
That's how I feel about it.
This to me, I look at this and I go, "This is
And like,
awesome."
it
Anytime I
just
can get
doesn't matter.
anytime I can get access to more data, it's always a good thing.
It's cool. It's
Never
cool.
a
I agree.
bad thing. It's like,
I
oh,
agree. It's never a bad thing.
it's what is Age of Empires, right? Like how many times you click. Like I love Age of Empires post stats when you're multiplayer because it shows
Hmm.
like this is how many times somebody's clicking per minute, and then people like they're like, "Wait, I only click 60 times a minute. How are you clicking 300 times a minute? What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing a lot.
It's great.
Right,
Yeah.
but then it then gives you a reason to spark that conversation with that person, or then it gives you like on this, if we're, we look at longest shot for example. I'm glad they have this in here, right?
That's
Like,
really cool.
there's
That's actually
people
really
in
fucking cool.
right because there's been so many people, and I'm like, I don't know who to go to for sniper advice because
To trust.
it's hard to trust because it's really easy to edit shit,
Yeah, you
and
can say, "Oh, I did this." Did you? Who
mm,
knows?
right, and Tarkov sniping is, I think it's one of the I think sniping in Tarkov is probably one of the hardest games to snipe in because dependingly, it's very hit and miss.
There,
If you get put in
there's a lot of variables.
there's so many variables. That's
The ammo, the map, the
you know,
gun, the distance, all that shit.
the other players are the big
The
one.
other
The random
players,
spawns. Yeah.
the ammos, they're fucking the helmet. If he has like on a good fucking Alton,
Is it raining?
is it raining? Can you see them? Yeah, there's a bunch of stupid shit. But yeah, this is cool. I think this is super cool.
Okay,
I
so this
think
has
they
only
should
been
leave it.
so this has only been
It's
going for
it's
like a day or two. Then it looks like
it
based on the
started
time.
it started when the Tarkov TV thing went live.
Okay, sweet.
But dude, yeah, that I just don't care.
These guys.
Like it blows my mind. It just gets my pants tight, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day, bro, it doesn't fucking care. It doesn't fucking matter, bro. It's all just bullshit. I think
Value
it's just
Fries is on
entitled
here as
people.
kills. Nice. I like him.
It's just it's just fucking entitled people who are not getting what they want. And I've seen people that have great takes that are saying something really solid, but the way that they're presenting the information is such from a childish entitlement perspective. Me. It doesn't go my way. It didn't work out for me. And then you look at someone like One Peg who's able to articulate his things in a logical, non-attack, non manner of that nature. I don't even know how to explain it because I'm
Oh,
fucking retarded.
you're good. He was such. I got to fight
But
him and
he
his clan in BattleBit. By the way, dude, they
but
are
he
like behind the scene. Like they're super freaking like chill. By the way, like I
but just the,
yeah.
you can tell that he's an adult. You can tell that he's like he deals with children all the time, that he has kids, the way he talks about stuff. And then you hear like young 20-year-olds that are just bitching. It's like you might be saying like that stuff that's correct, but the way you're presenting the information just makes you sound like a fucking child and no one wants to hear it
Like
anymore.
why can't we know exactly when Tarkov is gonna wipe, guys? Like I need to know when it's gonna wipe so I can tell. I gotta put in a time off request for my job for when. No, you don't.
Like,
You don't do
dude,
any of it. Just show up and play the game and have fun. And
that's I know, man.
unless you
Jesus
are
Christ, bro.
one of the people who is literally going for a world first on something,
Dude,
which I
for real.
which I understand
Uh,
those people exist, and that's a very different breed of gamer that I never
yeah,
want to even remotely come fucking close to. But
yeah, dude, I get that. But not but everyone likes to think that they're that person, and they build their whole like psychological persona on being that thing, and then when it doesn't go their way, it feels like you're taking the world away from them, and it's like, dude, relax.
right.
You're not that guy, pal. Okay, you're really not. If
This
you were, people would know. You would know. Come on, stop lying to yourself.
is one of
That's how I feel. End rant. Done. Podcast over. Goodbye.
the
Grow the fuck up.
grow the fuck up. That's actually great. Almost as a great way to end it on is just I do have a follow up to it, but just holy shit. So yeah, growing up is hard when you're a gamer because like
You don't go outside.
you don't go outside, but you gotta touch grass to grow up. It more because like inherently while gaming, well certain games anyways, not all games, you're letting go of being an adult to engage in pretend play. Right.
I
But
don't think no,
not every game, not hold on,
no.
not every game. I'm saying, and then some games, and I take them this way too, where you're playing them to. I don't know if you play to dominate. I generally don't play to dominate in PvP games. I play because I want to. I don't know. It's just a skill that I want to get better at. Like
Of course.
Mordhau,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I got my ass
I agree.
kicked for an hour straight in Mordhau the other day because I forgot how to deal with feints and slides and accelerations and stuff exactly. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna have to relearn all this. So I'm like, I strapped in, I went on a dual server, and I got my ass kicked. And I talked to people in chat, and I'm like, hey guys, how are you doing this? How are you not losing stamina right now when you're doing a slide? Like what? Because you killed me and you had 100 stamina and you don't have a stamina regeneration. Like what's and like I was getting answers and people were being friendly because I don't know everything. And
Right.
it's
No, I
eh,
feel like I feel like it's an echo chamber.
mm,
Well, the reason why I said you have to go outside is because if you're wrong and you say something stupid, you have the potential. There's a potential chance of someone smacking you in the face.
you mean
And
like
that's a true wake up call of being like, okay, this shouldn't be really. I shouldn't be acting like this.
hold on,
But online and when you're gaming in these type of communities, you create your community, you close your bubble, and then people who are there want to hear what you have to hear, and they're not gonna like, you know what I mean? So you
oh, they
just
yeah,
facilitate.
they're on your train regardless. Like they don't give
Exactly.
you could be on
You're
a
facilitating the negative reinforcements of everything that is making you kind of an asshole. And no one's going to tell you that because they love you. But
mhm,
in real life, at work, you act like an asshole. Someone's like, shut the fuck up. I have to work. And you're like, okay, I guess I can't act like an asshole because he's going to tell me to shut the fuck up next time. But
mhm.
if someone tells you to shut the fuck up online, you just say, fuck you. And then you disconnect and you go act like a dick somewhere else.
Yep, pretty much. And you know, cycles it way back into a better way to game. By the way, real easy. Just
Yeah,
people
I
are
agree,
dicks.
man.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing, and I really think you should do it, man. I think you really should do it.
It's but come back to your point. One Pack is a great. He's actually a really good person that I like to.
I like his shit, man. He's
He
a
has
smart guy. He's mature, and the way he expresses stuff is from a neutral perspective. He doesn't act like a fucking child.
yes. I don't. This is a weird way to put. I don't like a lot
He's
of
a
his
fucking adult.
opinions. Yeah, I don't like a lot of his opinions, but I respect
You
the
don't
way he
have to,
delivers them. That's the great because
but the
he's
way he
not.
delivers them,
Yeah, because he's not delivering it
that's my point.
I
Like me, me,
always.
me, 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 me.
Well, it's not even just about me. It's about like this is the only way to accomplish this. Like
100%.
I absolutely. I'm just saying absolutely hate. I was gonna say I absolutely hate ultimatums. That's a fucking clip and a half. So I don't like ultimatums because they like if you're a lot of content creators this way, and I kind of get it that way too, and it's why I love when you were talking about earlier how you walk through like you have your mom uh listen to you and shit like that, where it's you're trying to figure out the natural way to speak because it's it's so hard to not only come across like you're trying to get your intentions across and there's always I always try to look for that in content creators when I'm like hearing what you're hearing, right, where you're like this is self-entitlement at its max and you're watching someone and you're like Dante's is a great example, or Dante is a great example of that. I'm pretty sure he's popular enough that you know him, I would assume.
Maybe.
Most people he's a screaming Twitch streamer from
Then I do not know him.
yeah uh he's not like a bad guy. He's very insular, and he became like he's same kind of trajectory as Sneeko, right? He had an insular teenage group mentality, and if all of your fans are teenage boys and they grow up to being adult boys and they haven't really matured, or at least in the sense of interaction with you, and you haven't matured enough to tell them to shut the fuck up, their emotions are going to leech onto you. This is why, like, I started hanging out with really, like, I had not young fans. I'm not going to be singing an apology video anytime soon, but
yeah, absolutely not.
right.
Get fucked.
But,
Dude, that's just the dude.
bro,
Dude, come on, man. There are so many worse things in life that make someone hurt their fucking feelings.
right. Like I played with like 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, and I wasn't anything special with them. I was just being confident, and I could tell they were the maturity level for the first time in a long time, because everybody I'd played with, even if they were younger and they were like 10 years younger than me, and I know this is, maybe it's weird, maybe it's not, but like, so like when I was 24, I played with a bunch of 16-year-olds, but because I'm playing with 18-year-olds who invite 16-year-olds, so it's
right.
you have that creeping age gap. And so, like, yeah, I'm 24, they're 16, and now I'm, 30 and they're 22. So it's, but I had that, like, I watched them grow up from not being an idiot. And like you said, I'm going to call them fucking stupid when they're doing stupid shit. And they're going to and we taught them to call us stupid. I think
that's what a good friend does.
Yep. That's why I like that you pushed me on the value stuff earlier. It's not something I guess I mean, like, I considered it, but didn't consider it too much.
That's good, man.
But like, I started hanging out with new 22-year-olds, people I had no context with. And I'm like, oh, these people are fucking idiots. But they're like, I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just they're phrasing it wrong. And you try to give more and more time. And you're like, okay, I'm really grateful for your guys' opinions, but they're not right. And I understand I'm not saying that I'm right, but you're not right. And the reason you're not right is because you have nothing to back it up.
Yeah. Your feelings don't make you fucking right. Shut up.
Like, yeah, they can make you upset. I agree. Dude, I absolutely hate the Vector in Tarkov. It makes me pissed off when I die to one. I've also used a Vector, and I know that if you get into a mid-range fight with one, the other person's probably gonna fucking clap you. So it was our bad for pushing fucking dorms with Mosins. Not
yeah. I don't know.
Bring a backup SMG. So it was just funny watching them get emotional over like minor shit. And then I would get emotional too, but whenever it's weird because it's I try to get like emotional reactive with, like, I don't know if I think we've talked about this, but did you ever, well, like we were talking about earlier, putting like a persona on? Did you ever overreact for a period on stream?
No. I mean, no. I can't. I'm not saying like I'm fake, but I'm not fake, dog. You know what I'm saying? No.
I did it. It was super.
It was a video of me punching a fucking wall because I was so pissed off.
Like IRL punching a wall.
Yeah.
Oh, I love punching.
Like I was playing fucking Tarkov. Oh no, Apex Legends instead. I got so fucking mad, bro. I just slammed my hand, and I had a fucking wooden painting, and I fucking smashed my hand into that wooden painting. I was, fuck this, man. Stupid ass game. People love to see me get angry, and I hate it because it makes my head hurt.
That's where I'm at. Is I started doing overreaction because people enjoy watching me get upset. I don't know if they enjoy watching me get upset, or
I think they do. People like seeing people get upset, bro. Yeah. Maybe both, but yeah, people love it, and I think I'm just gonna start getting upset, man. Because fuck it.
As long as you can control what you're saying and not have a PewDiePie bridge moment, like you're good.
Yeah. Like I'll just scream, rage, or something, but I'm not gonna fucking say some stupid shit. Some politically stupid shit that gets me in trouble, because that's above my pay grade, man.
Well, speaking of above pay grade, it's been about 2 hours.
It's been late. This podcast's gone long enough. I hate you. I hate me. Bye. I'm kidding. I love you, man. No, dude, this has been fun. It's been good to talk again. I'm happy for you. I hope you do what you said you did. I hope you keep talking about value. And I hope I'm gonna try really hard. I'm so fucking bad at it, dude. I just like looking and trying to date out these tournaments and stuff, but I don't think they're pushed enough publicly for people to know about them. So if I can't fucking see them naturally, I don't think anybody else is.
Give
Um,
me, actually, before I forget about those, where the
but
hell are they? I'm looking at a Discord that has Tarkov, they do a Tarkov tournament. There's one I participated in, which I really wish they would have told me it was for cash before, because like I played it and I was kind of like,
right.
we want to like take it seriously, but we don't really want to take it too serious. We were like, let's have fun with the tournament. And then I found out it was cash, and I'm like, I don't have a lot of money in the bank account. I wish I would have
Yeah.
known that. I might have tried, like, because I'm sitting there doing like pistol runs and looting, and like we're having fun. It's a PvP fight. I'm like, I'm gonna do this in the fun PvP way. Everybody else is
Yeah.
going like full meta chads, and I'm like, oh, I probably should have.
But yeah, dude. I mean, like, I sincerely, I hope you could do that. I hope.
I'm just trying to
I
remember
took a
what the
break, so I'm
name of
gonna come
one.
back. I'm gonna. Oh, we can find it after this,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, we talked a little too long. I think we should try to condense it a little bit so we have an eagerness to talk next time. But yeah, I think you should do that. I think it'll be a good kick for you. I think you'll be good at it personally. I'm not just saying that so you do it.
Oh
Could
no,
be,
I feel you.
um, I think if it's done the right way, it can be actually provide some real value to people who don't have a role model or anything of that nature. Because I think you're a good guy and I think you have good takes on things. And I think you look towards the bigger group over the individual, which I think is nice, but you don't forget about the individual too. Um, I hope that stay focused. I think this break helped me mentally, and I'm gonna try and just grind out like I did last year. And I'm gonna hire an editor. I know you don't like the sound of that, but
No, I love this.
um,
I love the fact
I
that
I,
you're
th-
hiring an editor. It makes
I
me
think it'll
so
help
happy
me. I think it'll
because
help me. I'm gonna try to spend a couple $100 and see if I can work something out with somebody for maybe 5 videos and see how they do. And if they do well and there's a profit should be shared there, I'm gonna reinvest it back into the videos.
well, I
Um,
can tell you from somebody who's been offered money for YouTube videos. If you're like shorts, for example, they're about $5 to $15 if you're aiming
okay.
for 30 seconds or less, as long as it's not a lot of sifting or editing.
Right, right.
Um,
Yeah, no, my shit's easy.
yep, and
You know my
that's
shit. My
that
shit's
that
just
that's the other thing. Your stuff's not as long, like,
it's not
because
hard to edit it.
it's not hard to edit it, especially if you send it in an already like
Hmm.
segmented section, because
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
then there's
The
no
thing
time
is like
involved.
if I could do the landmark thing, if I just record so much content, take care of myself and physically and work out and do all that shit, and just keep doing that every day, I can maintain that longevity and pay someone out to maintain the editing side. It's just be able to produce more. You know what I mean? If the stuff makes money and it makes sense, we continuously do it. But
No,
yeah,
I feel
I like that idea.
I 100% love that you're going that direction, because it's like every time we'd always talk, like I'm always curious about the editing side, and you're always curious, like you're, yeah, I want to say curious, but you're always very editing is a thing you have to do, not a thing you want to do when it comes to
Yeah,
content.
I can
Which,
find joy in it, but I don't like. It's not like something I wake up looking forward to doing.
oh my god, I dream of editing. I dream of like, I'm like, I want to get home faster from work so I can
There
just
are
start
there are
editing.
cool things I want to make. I would like to make a little short film and stuff, and not. I don't want to film it. I don't want to edit it. I want to get some money in my pocket or maybe produce it or something. But
So also real quick before we get exfil us on this Escape from Tarkov rating page, I really hate the like snow effect or whatever the frick it is in the bottom right of the screen. This is on their entire website. No, it's just on the ratings page. What the hell? I kind of distracted. Sorry, it's weird segue. I apologize. There's this weird snow stuff and it's upsetting me now, and I don't know why. I'm gonna send you
our
a link.
focus. That's funny.
Yeah.
Let's do this the next 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks from now.
Two
Link
weeks.
up
Yeah, we could. Yeah, 2 weeks.
or next Friday or next
One.
Friday
Well, I know 29th
or
I'm out.
Saturday.
Well, I was gonna say I know 29th I'm out just because I got little kids that I'm watching.
Okay.
I mean, I prefer Fridays over Saturdays, but
Okay.
just
Yeah,
because
you do it
just because
Friday.
I'm doing the
20
armors
the
on
28th,
Saturdays.
28th
20. Yeah, we can.
or the
Yeah,
4th.
fourth. Let's
20th or the 4th.
go for the fourth.
Okay.
August 4th, I think, is gonna be a primo day.
Okay.
So
Perfect. That.
all
Love
right.
that. Make it
Love
happen.
it. And that'll be that way we'll have episodes to upload, because I apologize to everybody listening on the podcast that there's not been episodes for 2 months for our dedicated fans.
For our 3 people who like to listen to us.
Do you want
We'll
to take
figure out the
us?
value there.
We'll figure out the value eventually with this. But I think there's value in the podcast for us right now. I don't know about for listeners, but I think we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, it's for us, and I feel like we're learning. But yeah, I think we'll be figure that out. But yeah, guys,
I agree with you, by the way, and condensing it down probably to an hour and a half, I think would be.
Yeah, an hour would be huge. 45 minutes, because Destiny's video editor is so fucking on point, bro. That dude,
watch time's huge. It like you want to say
he's
more,
huge at making. He's really good at making those fucking videos, man. Destiny, I found out he pays him 50% of all ad revenue for every video. Because that guy is like engulfed in his content. Like he is watching all of his streams. He's recording everything. Like he's legitimately the producer to everything that he does. Is pretty cool. But let's end it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're even listening, for the 2 guys here, thank you. Rec, thank you. It's good talking to you again, man. And you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe. If you want to see this more, I hope we upset you what we said, because if you know how I am, I don't care. And much love. Bye.
Bye, everybody.